Hello folks, Norm the teacher here. I'm going to do another video on the 91 Mazda 626 changing out not changing out, but working on the brake pad, rear brake pad assembly on the rear axle. This video I'm just going to show you the tools that you're going to need to work on it. You know, a good part of a job, in any mechanical job that you do, is just rounding up all the tools you need. And if you don't have all of these tools, before you take on this job, I'd go to your hardware store and get them. To save you the frustration of not having them once you get started. So here we go. Neighbor kids around here. Okay, for starters, you might want to, if you have an air compressor, get one of these. That's basically a jackhammer. And all these prongs, they go when you attach it to an air supply up here with your air compressor. It works great in cleaning all of the rust and scale off of the brake pad assembly. Okay, have a very sharp nosed diamond file like this. It helps really well in cleaning out cracks and crevices. And so have one of those, getting all the rust and scale out. Solvent, you know, spray solvent like WD-40 or this Super Tech that I have here. You're going to need that to loosen up rust. Okay, you're going to want to have a pair of needle-nosed vice grips. That works well when you want to take the springs off of the brake pads, the two springs that hold the clamp the brake pads together. You're going to want a sharp chisel. This works well in taking off the axle nut cap. What you do is you take the blade and you wedge it in right here, and you kind of tap it in and to get this to start coming out. And that sharp edge there, wedged edge there, works well for that. And of course you want to have a little hammer to do that work, to tap it out. Okay, of course you're going to need a wheel lug nut jack or lug nut wrench to take off your tire. You're going to have to take off the tire, of course. Emery cloth. You're going to want some emery cloth for cleaning off rust off of things so that it goes back together nicely. An awl like this, a pick, also comes out in handy in removing some rust. This came in real handy when I tapped around where the brake pad assembly attaches to the cross member of the car, and when in getting the rust and scale off of that where the brake pad assembly attaches to the axle. I've already shown you the hammer. Okay, as far as nuts are going, or not nuts, but sockets and wrenches, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this stay here for a while. Freeze frame this so that you can read it. You're going to want an 8mm closed end wrench for loosening the bleed screw. And you're going to want a socket 8mm with a little wrench like this for undoing the brake, quickly undoing the bleed screw. But the reason you want a closed end one is for when you want to get all the air out of your brake lines. You have to close it, or you have to open it, pump your brake. And then while the brake is depressed, you close it with this. You close the bleed screw so that you don't suck air in. And you just keep doing that till all the air's out. You know what I'm talking about. All right, you're going to want a 10mm brake line wrench, this type. If you don't have one like this, get it, because this notch allows you to get onto the brake line, and then you have more surface area around to grab onto the nut. Okay, you're going to want a 32mm axle socket with a long breaker bar like this to break open that axle nut. And you can get a set of these at Harbor Freight. If you just want to buy one for this job, 32 millimeters, which you're going to want, and you can get individual ones at O'Reilly's. Okay, again, I'll do there in case you missed it and you want to freeze frame that. Okay, you're going to want a 12 millimeter socket right here. And that 12 millimeter is for the parking brake cable support bracket. Okay, I gotta have another camera here too, so I have to. I'm filming with two cameras. I always do that. Okay, now you're going to want a 14 millimeter socket, which is this one. There's 4 bolts that hold the brake pad assembly housing onto the rear axle. That you need a 14 millimeter, and you're going to need a breaker bar for that. That's right here. Either a breaker bar or a ratchet wrench with an extension will do that. But you're going to want at least a 10-inch extension. Okay, so that's the 14 millimeter. A 10 millimeter brake line wrench. So I've already shown you that. That's this. A 32 millimeter axle socket to remove the axle nut. Okay, with the breaker bar. Get you a breaker bar, because those axle nuts are really on there. I had a hard time getting mine off. And before you even try to get it off, spray with this stuff. Okay, so let's see here. I think I've covered everything. I'm going to go over to the car here and show you. This is my 91 Mazda 626 here that I am working on. It's a project car. I'm just working on it to learn different things. And we're talking about, of course, taking this hub off here. And here's the axle nut that I was telling you about. And when you pull that off, there's an assembly back here that is held on with 4 14 millimeter bolts. You'll have to undo them. And then you'll have to undo the brake lines. Let's see if I can get right in here. Get a quick shot in there. You know, the brake lines. I don't have 3 arms to point to things with here, but anyway, that just gives you a quick view of what's back there. Not that it's the best view, but okay. So, want to make this a short video, and so yeah, not half the job, maybe a fourth of the job is just gathering all together the tools that you need. So, hopefully that'll help. I'm going to do another video, many more videos on this 91 Mazda as I work on it and do more things on it. So. Stay tuned, folks, and I'll see you. This is Norm the Teacher signing off, and I'll see you on the next video.